So if you want something specific tonight, go ahead and chat in the box. Just type in some comments. It's always nice to use yoga in real time. Let me know who's here. Let me know how you're doing. I miss seeing you guys live. And I'm just going to keep these Tuesday nights going, whether people come live or they watch it later. I just think it's a nice place for us all, where if you're not having to pay for it, if that's a thing for you, you're able to just find the mat and have some time with connection. So I'm hoping that you guys love it. I want to know what you want out of it, how you want to spend these 30 minutes. The way I'm calling it is just to shake it down a little bit, shake down the day that you've had, do some just functional movements, all levels. You could do it in a chair. It's just a place for us to take a pause, just stand still for a moment, process the day, process those breaths, take them in, and then let them go. So, Suzanne, anything you want specifically, just type it up. Anything bugging you? We'll start right at 6, but I'm always thinking we can come a little bit early, and that way we can chat. So it's good to see you guys coming in, and I hope you can hear me all right. I just got a notification that I am live, so I'm assuming that you got one of those too. What do we see here? Hey, Billy. Wow, I miss you. I miss you. How nice that we can stay in touch this way. Is there anything, you're in Maryland, huh? Is there anything that you want to do today? Anything specific, your shoulders, your neck? Do you have any things going on your lower back or your knees? Just type it up. I didn't even realize you'd left. It's nice to see you here, though. Got another 2 or 3 minutes. Is there anything about yoga that you're curious about? Anything about breathing? Any questions about the way you breathe? Any questions about a certain pose or a philosophy? You know, this is an opportunity for us to connect and for us to really learn to live that yoga. So not just practicing it on the mat, but how do you take what you're practicing on the mat off the mat? That's what we're trying to figure out. So just type up if you have anything you want to chat about. Another 2 minutes. I could sing the Jeopardy thing. And if you're coming in and watching the recording and you don't want to watch this little preset, then just skip through into about 3 more minutes and you'll be able to start the class. It's nice to have someone from Maryland, someone from Florida, some folks from Berwyn. It's nice. It's nice to know we're not alone. And it's nice to know that everybody's wanting to move through their body, whether it's the physical body, which we call the anamaya kosha, that bag of bones that you're lugging around, whether we're moving through the breathing body, the pranayama body, whether we're moving through those feelings and thoughts that we have just always sort of floating through our brain, turning on that deeper awareness. That inner gaze is what I like to call it, where you're looking at that wisdom and that instinctual body so that we can access that fifth body, which is that bliss, that ananda. Life doesn't have to be perfect, but we have these longer and longer and longer moments of, wait, it's all good. I'm good. I'm peaceful right now, even with chaos around, even when things are, not always aligned, I feel really connected. So that's what we're looking for, to move through these different physical bodies. I see some folks coming in. So if there's something that you want to do, restorative would be great. Yeah. So what I'm thinking is that this is going to be a very gentle class. If you're interested, the second Saturday of every month, I'm doing a restorative retreat. It's going to be different in November, but I'm going to do a really full class of just restorative, where we'll be journaling and breathing and that sort of thing. This class is going to be what they call Hatha, where we're going to think about it being gentle, but it's very much about functional movements. Okay, it's time. Who's ready? Who's ready? I won't sing. Okay, here we go. Turning off your phones and turning them off and turning them over. off and over. Sometimes having that light go off or that notification go off, it's like, that mind chatter goes right there. Again, if you haven't met Sugar, little Sugar Bear, this is Sugar Bear, and she's the perfect little yoga dog. All right, so let's come to standing on our mat here for a moment, and she'll settle down. So just finding yourself in a position. We want to find the Tadasana pose, which is mountain pose, up, up. And that means that you're taking your feet hip distance apart. Roughly, it's going to be about 2 fists width apart. So you could even take your hands down and know that that's where you want to be. These are our hips here, these bones. And then you want to take the outer heels down. So the part outside edges of the foot, we're going to let that push down, and then we're going to plug in those big toes. So I like to also imagine that my toes can lift up. So I'm really like flexing those toes, lifting them off the mat, but then I just want to gently touch them down. And those of you who are working a little bit deeper, as you touch the toes down, the very tips of the toes have a little dig in. So you're not clawing the ground by any stretch. You're putting the toes down, and then there's a little bit of a tip at the edge of the toes that are rooting you down. Also, you want to notice that you have an arch to your foot. Okay, so I like to think of that arch to the foot as almost like a vacuum hose. You're pulling energy up off the floor. Depending upon how you're feeling today, maybe this is the end of your day and you've been sitting or standing all day and you're really craving a chair, or you're craving when we go to the floor. That's part of this, is to just stand still. Okay, so here we are. We've got the feet. We're going to activate the quadriceps, pull up these thigh muscles. Not so much that you're overextending in the knee. For those of you who are flexing, put a little soft bend in the knee, but you're still activating those quadriceps. And then we want to feel that the heels are just tiny bit sliding apart. That's going to roll those inner thighs behind us. And if you did it from the side, it's actually tipping you over a little bit. I'm opening up those inner thighs, pulling them behind me. And as that internal rotation is happening, I'm going to then tip the pelvis so that the top of my pelvis is dipping back without clenching my bottom. So let's pause here. That's quite a lot for those of you who are new, but even for those of you who are working deeper. Find your feet, everything we just talked about, extend the knees, pick up the quadriceps, feel that little bit of an internal rotation, let it tip you over a little bit, and then notice this bowl of water and just tilt it back without clenching the bottom. Now, this is a common area, your glutes, your tushy, you can think of all the names for it. It's a common area to be clenched. The jaw, the bottom, the shoulders, the chest, around the scalp. These are common areas to have tension. So I want you, as you're leaning back the top of the pelvis, to feel a gripping around the sits bones, but not around the upper and outer glutes. Okay, so we've got the pelvis tipping back. And then we're going to lift the front ribs, lift the back ribs, and really extend those fingertips to the floor. So we're going to stand still for a moment. Track your head sitting right on top where the neck doesn't have to work. You've got the back of the head right over the lower back. When I was learning yoga, how to teach yoga, my teacher had said, if you want to teach a really hard class, teach Tadasana, mountain pose, for an hour. Just this pose. There's so much happening. So find that alignment again. I'm going to stop talking, and for 1 minute, I want you to just feel the way you're dispersing weight, the way you're pulling, the way you're stacking. Here we go. 1 minute. Just watch yourself stand still. Okay. So now, keeping this idea of the physical body, we're going to turn and pull that curtain back and look at the breathing body. I want you to stand still for a moment again here in this mountain pose. And this time I want you to watch yourself breathe without trying to make a good yoga breath or a good calm breath. I want you to watch the way your life is moving inside of you right now. It might be really choppy. You might notice that you hold the breath. You might notice that it's deep and calm. It doesn't matter how you're breathing, but we want to turn on that mirror and just be really curious. How is my life force flowing right now? Okay, so another minute. Don't do a pranayama. Don't do a breathing technique that's good, right? We just want to watch what it is. Here we go. 1 minute. Stand still for a moment together. How's it going? Sometimes it causes anxiety to look at the breathing. We start to feel really anxious about watching ourselves breathe. So if you're feeling that way, remember we're together and you're not alone for sure. Okay, so now we want to sync up. We call this a vinyasa, where you're syncing up breath and movement. So inhale, reach the arms up. Notice that my palms are facing up. Big inhale. And then exhale, let those hands come down, arms come down. Palms are facing up. When you get halfway, turn them down. That's all we're going to do. Inhale, sweep those arms up again. Big lift up. And then exhale, coming down, down, down. Again, inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, halfway down, turn the palms over. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, come on down. Feel how it feels when you rotate those arms too. So here we go. Inhale up. Exhale down, turn the arms down and release. 3 more. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, coming down, turning them over. 2 more. Inhale up. Feel how your shoulders are moving away from each other. And exhale, coming down. Functional movements, finding symmetry in both sides. 1 more. And exhale, coming down and release. Find that mountain pose again, Tadasana. Remembering this pose is in every other pose we do. Hands into prayer. We're going to touch the pinky together, the ring together, the middle together, the pointer together, the thumb together, and then the heels of the hand. But there's a little pocket of air between our hands, between our palms. So now we're going to check in on those knees. Just take yourself down to Utkatasana and then back up. So imagine you're trying to reach for a stool behind you. And 2. Start to sync up that breathing with movement here. Exhale, going down. Inhale, going up. And 4. Kiss the puppy and back up. And kiss the puppy and back up. I got to turn away and kiss the puppy and up. I was bragging too much about her being a perfect yoga dog. 7. Although that was a very nice downward dog and upward dog. Oh, she's showing off. Look at that. And 1 more. Nice posture, sweetie. And release. Okay, we're going to take our feet together here. Big toes are kissing, a little heel spread, just a tiny bit. And we're just going to rotate those knees. Finding that inhale and that exhale. You can feel yourself rolling on those ankles, especially those of you who get injuries in the ankles. Remember, keeping them flexible, keeping them fluid. 2. And the other way. How does your body feel? Is it making a lot of noise? Do you feel fragile or vulnerable here? Do you feel frightened you're going to hurt yourself? Just notice what you are imprinting on the physical, mental, and emotional bodies as we move. Okay, and then standing still. Turning into that inner gaze again, let's find our breath. Let's see if we can find a breath body that's deep into our back muscles as well as our front body. 3 more breaths, long inhales, long exhales. Now, if you feel that you are most comfortable in a chair, feel free to do this in a chair. You'll sit down in the chair. Everyone else, we're going to take our legs a little bit wider, take the hips back, and just come into a forward fold. Grab opposite elbows here. See if you can breathe deeply into the lower back, really feeling that lower back, taking the breath. You could even feel yourself sort of rocking side to side, letting those back ribs have some space. If you've had a long day, if you feel really exhausted right now, open your mouth and take a big exhale. If you're in the chair, feel free to just sit on the edge of the chair and just really breathe deeply into that lower back. I like to describe the lower back as like hard plastic. You have to breathe deeply in order to even access that point. Bend the knees if your hamstrings are tight, or maybe you're finding that they're loosening up and you can start to extend those knees. We're letting all this fresh blood come into our head, giving ourselves a nice bath for the brain. It's a beautiful way to practice. And just sitting in gratitude. You know about yoga, you know about deep breaths, you know about standing still, you know about processing, and maybe leaning into the sense of gratitude that you have these tools that help. One more deep breath. And then strong, powerful legs. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Sweep those arms up. Feel yourself connecting and bring those hands down here into prayer. Thumbs against the heart. Drop those wrists so that the forearms are parallel to the floor. Find that root of the mountain again and stack yourself up. We'll take 8 deep breaths here, creating that Samavriti pattern now. Equal inhale, equal exhale. Stand still for a moment together. Notice how you're activating the muscles of the face. Are you frowning? Are you clenching your eyebrows together? Are you locking the jaw? Two more big breaths. Stand still for a moment. So nice. Awesome. Come on back. So let's check in with the neck here. We're going to slide those hands to the right and look to the left and then switch. Back and forth. What's it feel like? Keep exhaling with an open mouth if you really have stuff to let go. And remember that the Yoga Sutras tells us that we need to balance between, holding strong and letting go. Holding strong and letting go. You want to be able to do both. So here we are. We're going to keep the action going but you're using those exhales to imagine the tension in the shoulders letting go, the muscles around the eyes. You have about 2 more breaths. Beautiful. And come on back. Release those hands down and back to standing still. We'll only be here for 5 breaths. Feel the way you align your body. Imagine that you're a teacher and you're watching yourself stand still. What adjustments are you making? Are you jutting out? Are you reaching forward? Are you slumping? Are you uneven? What's going on? And make those little tiny adjustments for yourself. You can feel the sense that you can lean back into this moment right here and right now. Stack up those bones. Good. All right, shake out those arms. Shake out those arms. Shake out those shoulders. Shake out those legs. Just really shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. You can move any way you want to. Sugar's got her tail going. You can't see it, but it's very cute. Just shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Just shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. You guys have all heard me say before that tension, stress in humans does not go away unless we actively let it go away. So it will be held in the body unless you shake it off. So when you have something stressful, it just starts to creep up in there, and then you start the next day there again. So you want to be making sure that you're letting it go, right? That balance between the river and the bank. You got to have a river to have a bank. You got to have a bank to have a river. So it's a balance of this energy. Free and letting go, and then finding that alignment focus. Let's go 2 more big breaths. Good. One more deep breath. Again, if you want to be in your chair, stay in your chair. Everyone else, we're going to make our way to the floor. Inhale, sweep those strong arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, nice flat back. Exhale, plant those hands and come into that downward dog. If you want a vinyasa here, push-up position, go through a chaturanga or an upward facing dog, kiss the puppy, and downward dog. Two more breaths. Sorry. She's never done this before. I guess it's playtime. Inhale, sweep it up, and exhale, reset. All right, finding a comfortable place on the floor or in a chair. Okay, you need to sit down. Come on, be a lady. Come on. All right, here we are. We're pausing. Let's check in on just a little bit with the lower back. As I said, it's like Tupperware. It's really hard to move and open up. So what you want to be doing, what you want to be doing is you want to be making sure that you're breathing really deeply into that lower back. So let's focus on that right now. All right. Deep breaths. Now, if you feel comfortable sitting on the floor, please continue to. But if your knees are up like butterfly wings, it's better for you to sit on something, a pillow, a block, or anything like that. And again, we really want to be diving into the lower back. One of the teachers, a master teacher, Adil Pakiaval, he talks about sort of the unconsciousness of our lower back. And he talks about this idea that our unconscious thoughts are always trickling. And if we're not thinking of what we're thinking, it can get stuck in this area. So if that resonates with you at all, that you are finding that you are really holding back in this very base of security, then that's a good thing to practice on a regular basis, is these forward folds. So let's start to find our way here now. Leaning forward. Give a little bit of a humble tuck to your chin so that you've got a nice long neck here. If there's any ache here, you can always prop something under your knees. And we'll spend about 8 deep breaths here. See if you can not move the belly, but actually move into the back. Let the back touch the sky. Maybe even lengthening out those inhales a tiny bit. See if you can find a little bit longer of an inhale, a little bit longer of an exhale. And then, as I was saying, a nice thing to do here is to choose a mantra, choose something that's calming for you. And as you're breathing deeply into this back, you could say that mantra, I belong, or my needs are met, or I have a plan. It's about the fundamental needs being met. Are your fundamental needs being met? If yes, then state them. If no, lean into where you can meet them, at least in this moment. 5 more breaths. Just a couple of poses here to check in with yourself. 1 more deep breath. And gently up we go, up we go, up we go. Please extend that left leg out. Okay, sitting up nice and tall. Lean back. And then start to just turn your belly over to this bent left knee. And then turn yourself back to center. And then do it again. Turn and back. Turn, keep your head in line with that sternum so you're not turning the neck. You're actually turning through that middle body. This is one of my favorite things to do, is just feel that thoracic spine twisting. You can do this in a chair. 2 and 1. Good. Extend that leg out and bend the other one. And same thing, we're going to turn and straighten and turn and straighten and turn and straighten. And 4 and 5. Keep sitting up nice and tall. And 7. And 8. Very nice. Lock your dog in your Sukhasana pose. And go ahead and grab a hold of the knees here so that your elbows are straight and lean back. And we're going to just find the head again. We're going to dip the left ear to the left shoulder, finding this long neck. Keep dropping the elbows to the floor. One more deep breath. What's going on in the neck? Slide the chin to the chest and roll to the second side. Keep dropping the elbows. Keep those elbows straight. Lean back. Now, if you weren't here, if you weren't doing this with us, what would you be doing? Puttering around the house, folding clothes, watching the news, right? Busy. This is the opposite of busy. This is a check-in. One more deep breath. And come back to center. Good. We're going to just take 1 minute sitting still and just sit still for a moment. Feel yourself sitting perfectly still for 1 minute. Long breaths here. All right. In order for us to finish up, we're going to do Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. If you have any kind of deviated septum or any kind of congestion, you can always use your pointer fingers and just sort of steer. If you're new to this, it may look a little weird, but it's a super balancing breathing technique that I highly recommend, especially when your sinuses are acting up or in the winter and fall and winter. It's a really nice time. But also when you're feeling a little bit out of whack, when things are a little bit nutty, it's a nice way to balance out those energies. Up, 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 up. Good girl. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use our right hand, index and thumb. We're going to close. Next time I'll try to hide her. Close your left nostril. She's new. She's figuring it out. And breathe into the right. Now pinch both nostrils and then exhale to the left. Inhale to the left. Stop. And exhale. So you're inhaling from the same nostril you're exhaling. Keep going. Imagine that you're taking up the breath through the nostrils all the way up to the forehead, to the middle of the brain. Clean it up. Inhale and then exhale, coming out the other side, taking any worries away. We're balancing out that letting go and that aligned. That letting go and then that aligned. About 5 more times. One more round. And then release the hand to the lap, feeling the cool air into both nostrils now, same time. Up to the middle of the brain, and then exhale, warm air out. This is how we'll close. Take 7 more breaths. Inhale, drink in the cool air all the way up to the middle of the brain. Wash away any thoughts that don't serve you. And exhale, come back to this moment right now and sit still for a moment, processing all that you're inputting throughout the day. Feeding the healthy parts of you and letting the worry or angst or fear, just let it go. Watch it float down the river. 2 more, please. Now, perhaps you'll stay and you'll enjoy a little bit of a 5-minute meditation. I highly recommend it. It's really nice when you just listen to the hum of the home that you're in. That is a really nice thing to do. Lighting a candle and candle gazing at the flame is a really nice way to sort of focus the mind for meditation. Anything that you want to do, you could lie down, you could prop your legs up, but really finding something that you can do to close. Now, I got an email today where someone said after the class, they close up and they don't do the Shavasana. Don't do that. Really stay here. This is the processing of the little bit of movements we did today, and time for yourself to be with yourself. Okay. I hope this is of benefit to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Deep bows. Namaste. Bye, sugar.